What's up, everybody? Coming to you with a review for Monday Night Raw. Today is Tuesday, and I have my thoughts, my perspective on what I thought about last night's show. You know, I am a wrestling fan, not as much as I used to be. There was a time where I did nothing but everything was wrestle. I even wanted to be a part of it when I was younger. And then I kind of grew out of that and got more into football. And then I would watch it off and on. Like, I always knew who was who, and will always like maybe watch a WrestleMania and things like that, even if I didn't know exactly what the storylines were. And then maybe about 4 years ago, maybe less than that, one of my homeboys got me back into wrestling. He was like, "Yo, you need to watch Raw, you need to watch NXT, SmackDown. There's a lot of good people on there. There's a lot of black people up on there." So I was like, okay, cool. Let me check out, see what's going on. So I've been invested off and on since then. I even went to one of my first events was WrestleMania, which was great. I got to see Kofi win the title. So things like that. So I'm just here to talk about what happened last night, my thoughts, how I feel about wrestling now, and what I think should take place between now and WrestleMania, and who should be those big matches, because at WrestleMania you're trying to get 100,000 people inside the AT&T Stadium where the Dallas Cowboys play. And with some of the matches I've seen tonight and just been watching in general, you're not gonna do that. So here's my review. Here's how I feel about it. I really need WWE to get it together. Like, Raw was, you have a 3-hour show and there's like 3 good segments. 3 hours, 3 good segments. Raw's trash. Monday Night Raw is trash. The ratings are horrible, and I just feel like if you speak up backstage, you'll lose your job. You can't speak up without somebody looking at you crazy or questioning you. And I don't think that's how the company should be ran. They are $1 billion company. No matter what I say or anybody else on YouTube says, they're going to do what they want to do. But we as the fans, we demand change. Just like with the video game. The video game was horrible, so they had to take a break, almost a 2-year break, to get it together so the next game can be what we need it to be. We need the same thing from these companies. Like, you want us to pay our money, but I'm not coming to pay my money to see a Dana Brooke. Like, I'm not coming to paying my money to go see a Reggie. Anyway, let's get through. Let's get this show started. Let me pull out my notes. So I will be looking back and forth. I got a lot of notes. So pretty much, Raw starts. They do a review on what happened at Saturday's pay-per-view event. They want you to call it like premium live events, but nobody's calling it a premium live event. They're gonna call it a pay-per-view. They've been saying it for centuries, and we're gonna continue to say it. Ain't nobody saying no fucking no damn PP premium live event or whatever. So anyway, so they show the highlights of day one, which is their first pay-per-view of the year. To me, it was just a glorified house show. I don't know if it needs to be a consistent pay-per-view. I do like the fact that pay-per-views are now on Saturdays. So I really do, and I like that, and I think the fans are going to like that also. They brought Pyro back. Unless I've been not paying attention, they brought Pyro back. So, I like that. That's pretty cool. So the show starts off with the lights being out. Paul Heyman is standing in the middle of the ring. The lights come back on. I like Paul Heyman. I wish Paul Heyman was running the show like they gave him a chance to. I don't think they gave him enough time. But I feel like there's nobody better than Paul Heyman when it comes to creative. Like, this man can turn something that we've seen over and over and over, and I'm referring to Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. He can turn it into something to make you want to watch it again. So, like, this man knows how to, draw the audience in. He gets in the ring. He starts talking about day one, about how, Brock won. He introduced Brock. Brock comes out. He throws the steps in the ring, and he stands there, and he's like, "South Carolina, acknowledge me." Well, that lets us know that the storyline between him and Roman is not coming to an end. So, so that's pretty cool. I like this side of Brock. It shows me that Brock has a personality. I don't know why all these years he hasn't been doing a lot of this stuff before, but I really like this Brock. He's a babyface, and everybody seems to like him. He's been working great with Sami Zayn, with Paul. They've been going a little back and forth, so it's really good. He's still he's still a badass when he needs to be, but I do like this version of Brock Lesnar. So Paul, as they're in the ring, Paul Heyman pretty much goes down the list of people tonight for the #1 contender match to determine who's going to face Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble at the end of the month. Excuse me. No, I don't have the COVID. I just had a little cough. All right, calm down. So in the match, it's going to be KO. It's going to be which is Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and Big E. Now, let me stop. Why is Big E in this match? I like Big E. I like the New Day. I got my Kofi shirt on. I watched Kofi win the title. I thought Kofi had an excellent run. Some people didn't. I thought it was great. Big E run was horrible. He didn't do anything. He had like 1 or 2 defense. He had Money in the Bank. He won the ladder match to get Money in the Bank. For the life of me, I don't understand why they just did not let him hold on to Money in the Bank and cash in at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins cashed in years ago. We can have another person cash in. You repeat everything else. You repeat match after match. Repeat that. Build a star out of him. People like Big E, but he did not need the championship. And on top of that, he lost clean. My opinion, Bobby Lashley should still be the champion. And he should be going into WrestleMania again as the champion. He should not have lost the title. And then you can take Big E and have him cash in and make it really mean something in front of 100,000 people going crazy. Like that's crazy to me. So anyway, Big E is in this match. And like I said, I don't know why he's in the match because he lost. He lost clean. He lost clean. 1, 2, 3. He lost clean. I just don't get it. But I don't write the show. So all I can do is complain to y'all about it. Like I said earlier, Paul Heyman's great on the microphone. He had this one line where he was like, let's talk about MVP. Actually, let's not, because nobody else does. When the two of them get on that microphone and they start going back and forth, that's going to be gold. That is going to be gold TV. That is going to be main event wrestling at its best. 2 excellent talkers doing killer promos. Like, it's not going to get any better than that. So, I thought that was really, really good. They talked about everybody. They did give Big E a lot of props. They a lot of respect. So that was good. Then we move on to RK Bro, which is Matt Riddle and Randy Orton versus Alpha Academy. Now, my question is this. When are they going to break RK Bro up? Now, they don't need to break any tag teams up, but this is a tag team that was just kind of like throwing together, which a lot of their teams are anyway. But when are we going to break them up? Because I think people... So I feel like this. I feel like 50% of people want to see them break up, and the other 50% kind of just want to see them continue to go as a team. But we all know Randy Orton is much better by himself. He's doing some great work with Matt Riddle. But I kind of want to see them in a single match at WrestleMania with each other. So it's like, how do we get there? Everybody knows that Randy Orton is a great heel, but what if Matt turns on Randy? What if Randy's the babyface and Matt's the heel? It's obvious for Matt to turn on. I mean, for Randy to turn on Matt. Kind of like Sasha Banks and Bayley. Everybody knows Sasha is a great heel, and everybody was expecting her to turn on Bayley, but Bayley turned on her, and Bayley's a great heel. So it's just something different than the normal. So anyway, they come out, and Alpha Academy comes out next, and it's so weird to me because sometimes they'll break these teams up only to put somebody else into another team. So they broke Heavy Machinery up, and then they released the one guy. Then they have Otis and Chad together, which they're actually making a really, really good team. But what are we going to do with them? Are we going to push them and give them the titles? Like, go ahead and give them the titles. Like, what are y'all waiting on? Chad Gable is great. He's like a baby version of Kurt Angle. The gimmick they have with him right now with this I got a degree, a master's degree with a 4.0 or whatever he's saying. Like, it's corny to me. He should be an Olympian because he actually has been to the Olympics. So that should be his gimmick. And I think that'll get over more with the fans outside of his wrestling because we know he's great at wrestling. But also what else frustrated me with this match was on Saturday, RK Bro won their match against the Street Profits in their title match, but then lose to Afro Academy on Monday. They love to make their champs lose. So I'm like, is this the start of a breakup? Is this causing some tension between Randy and Matt? Are we about to push and give the titles to Afro Academy, or are we just going to move on to somebody else like they always do? So I don't know. I will say, and it's going to lead into more what I got to say later on about the show, but merge the divisions together. I'm going to be saying that a couple times on this video. Merge the divisions together. Them tag team divisions are like 3 teams. That's not a division. Merge them together. Merge those teams together. Merge the tag team division together. So, next we have a backstage segment with MVP and Bobby Lashley. And like I said, MVP is great on the microphone. When he first came back, I was kind of like, I don't need to see him wrestle. But when they got together, it was just like they took the Hurt Business, who they shouldn't have broke up, with Cedric and Sheldon. But they took that gimmick, that story to a whole nother level. You got these, you got these clean black men come out in suits, but they still can fuck you up. Like, that shit was hard. So, MVP is pretty much telling the reporter, like, Bobby has 3 people to go against. He has KO, Seth Rollins, and Big E to go against. Can he do it? Then he walks off with a smile like, yeah, I know he can do it. Like, why are we even talking about this? And then Bobby goes on to say Brock Lesnar fears me, which makes me think, does he really fear him? Because they have never crossed paths. As far as we know, I don't know what's has happened backstage, but according to everything, they never crossed paths. They've never had a match. They've been in the company around the same amount of time. They've done other stuff outside the company, like MMA and stuff like that. They've just never crossed paths. And I'm thinking, is he scared, or did he never want to do a match with Bobby? Which I wouldn't know why, but yeah, it's interesting because fans have been wanting that for years. Like, we've wanted it for years. Even with Brock and Bobby's first run, I think people wanted it back then, and we just never got it. And then we move on to AJ Styles and almost. I don't care. I don't give a damn what his name is. I don't care about his gimmick. They trying to make him seem like he's this Andre the Giant. He's trash. Nobody cares about him. The audience doesn't make any noise for him. It was cool when they first got together, but it's stupid now. I want AJ Styles to finish this up. Like, after tonight's match, I hope they're done and move on to Edge. How we get there, I don't know. I don't care. Make the match happen at WrestleMania. And then from them, we move on to a mixed match tag team match for the 27, 24, 34, 48 title, whatever the hell the title called, between Dana Brooke, Reggie, Tamina, and Akira, however you say his name. And I'm like, don't nobody give a fuck about this. Don't nobody want to see this. Don't nobody care. How does Dana Brooke keep missing the releases? Now, I ain't for nobody losing their job, but it's like, God damn, they didn't release Amber Moon, Ruby Riott, and you keep Dana Brooke? Dana Brooke is trash. She got like one good move, and sis been wearing that move out for years. Like, throw the title away and send them back to catering, like, or home, something. So then after that, we have Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan's. They show their segment. Becky comes out, and let me just say this. I like Becky Lynch. I really do. I've been a huge fan of her. I always thought she should have got more shine than she did. before her career really took off back in SummerSlam a couple years ago when she turned on her best friend. She had a great run. I seen her at WrestleMania along with Kofi. It was a great, a lot of people really wanted her to win the title, and she did. She won both titles in the main event. Then she kind of had like a okay match run with Lacey. Sasha came back. They had a great Hell in a Cell match. Her and Asuka had some great matches. And then Becky got pregnant and she left. And she came back at SummerSlam. Now, I was all for her coming back at SummerSlam, but I didn't like how she came back, and it would have been nice if it was like a nice back and forth. I didn't mind her winning the title. It was how they went about it. Bianca losing in 26 seconds. It would have been nice if they would have had like a 10-minute, 15-minute back and forth, and then Bianca would have lost the title. A lot of people were mad about how she lost it, not who gained the title. But since then, Becky has been like cringe. She has been like, she's a heel, but people are cheering for her because her music make you want to cheer for her. But then she start talking stupid. Then it's just like, just make her a face again and make everybody else a heel, because I don't really see the crowd booing for her. I just don't see it. And then her moveset is boring. Like, out of the 4 horsewomen, her moveset is like the boring one. Outside of Charlotte's horrible ass moonsault, her moveset is just boring. She just, I ain't feeling Becky. Liv comes out. She lost clean. I don't know what they're doing with Liv. I don't know if they're going to, I don't think they're giving her the title. I would have personally gave her the title, even if she just would have like a little 4-week run, or a month run, or a 2-month run. I would have gave her the title. I mean, again, I like Liv, but I don't see her winning the title. I don't. And then out comes Bianca, which that needs to be the WrestleMania match. Bianca versus Becky at WrestleMania. That needs to be the match. The story writes itself. We don't need a whole bunch of back and forth. I get, you don't want to give us that match every single weekend, every night. I understand that, and I appreciate that, but that needs to be the match. It doesn't need to be anything outside of that. So in March, that needs to be the match. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. Night 1, night 2, doesn't matter. Bianca and Liv start having some back and forth. Becky chimes in, and then they all attack each other. Then we go backstage to a Kevin Owens and Seth segment. They talk about, if you win the title or if I win the title, we'll face each other at SummerSlam. At WrestleMania. I don't want to see a Kevin Owens and Seth feud. I don't. We've seen it already. They're great. They're great in the ring. Just like the New Day and Usos. They're great in the ring, but we've seen it so many times. I'm sure the match will be excellent. I don't want to see it, though. Sorry. I don't want to see it. So, next we have the women's tag team division. What division, you say? 2 teams. So all we doing is trading the titles back and forth, because ain't nobody else in the damn team. You done release half the damn women. The other women in NXT don't want to come to the main roster because look how they get treated. Throw the titles away, along with the 24/7 title. Throw them both away at the same time. Throw them away. When you get out there to Cleveland, throw it in that big-ass ocean. When you get out there to New York, throw it in that big... Get rid of the titles. They don't make any sense. You got Rhea Ripley and Nikki Trash. Until they change her gimmick, she's Nikki Trash, a freaking superhero that nobody cares about. Then you got Carmella. And I wonder if her theme song is by Meg Thee Stallion, because it sounds like it is. And Zelina, who was fired from the company only to be brought back. A 2-team division. And it makes such a big deal, like, oh, it's the women's tag team title match. Okay. It's going to be the same teams when y'all have it again. There's no new teams. There's nobody else. There's nobody else. Break the teams up, allow them to go on single runs, and either merge the women's division together, and you can have create a upper title and a mid title, or give these women something to do. Every storyline does not have to involve a title. You know, over on SmackDown we got the Naomi and Sonya story, which I'm surprised they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't have a match at day one. And speaking of day one, what happened to the Sami Zayn and Shinsuke match? I thought that was supposed to happen at day one, so I don't know. I guess we'll talk about that on Friday. But anyway, and make Rhea the monster she was in NXT. She was destroying people left and right. Make her the monster again. Y'all destroy her. And I don't know what the hell y'all doing with Nikki Cross, because that's who she needs to be. This superhero gimmick, it is not. You have people that sit in the audience literally as they're wrestling, having conversations, probably about what they doing after the show over. You trying to go out and get a drink. You want to go back home. It's probably cold outside. Who driving? Who calling the Uber? How much is going to cost? You want to go to the concession stand? Oh, let me run to the bathroom. Well, what you doing Friday? What you doing Saturday? That's those kind of conversations they having during this match, because nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. Then we had the Street Profits. And the Street Profits and Rey and Dominic enter themselves into the Royal Rumble. I can't stand it when A, tag teams enter the Royal Rumble, and B, when they just don't let it be a surprise. Like, we don't need to know everybody that's going to be in a Rumble, and you only can leave it like for 3 or 4 people to be a surprise. Let the whole thing be a surprise. Just like you do when the numbers come out, we don't know who's coming out at what number, but let the whole thing be a surprise. And why are we having the tag teams in the Royal Rumble? I'm sure it's 30 other guys back there who are not in tag teams that could be in the Royal Rumble. Bring some guys up from NXT. Bring some legends back. You know, like, that is your chance. Some people that you got rid of that you really didn't want to get rid of, bring them back. That's your chance to do that at the Royal Rumble. The same thing goes for the women. I read an article that it's going to be like they're struggling to find 30 women. Yeah, because you release half of them. Like, come on now. So anyway, they're in the ring. Out comes Apollo and Commander Azeez. And I remember when Apollo was on top of the world, he was an Intercontinental Champion. He had this badass gimmick. Now he's in a pointless tag team match. And he loses in 2 minutes. This man was just at WrestleMania with his gimmick and his title, and now he's losing in 2 minutes. Then we have a match with for the U.S. title between Damian Priest and Dolph Ziggler. Now, before the match even gets started, WWE has this thing, and I find it so fucking stupid. You bring out whoever's going to be in the ring at the moment. Then you go to commercial break. Then you come back and you go to a backstage segment. So this person probably in the ring for a good 10 minutes standing there or sitting down or hanging on the ropes or talking to the crowd while you do all this other stuff. So then they go to commercial break. Then they come back and do a backstage segment with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. And Doudrop walks in there and she's talking about why is it the same women are always getting the championships? You lost. What championship you getting? You lost. What? You lost 3 times in a row at that. And don't nobody want to see you. So she comes in there and she's crying about the same women, this and that. So then they say, well, we're going to make a triple threat match between you, Bianca, and Liv Morgan for next week's Raw. Why? Let Liv get her last match, even though she don't need it, or even don't give Becky a match at all. And then build up again her and Bianca, because that is the match for WrestleMania. Don't nobody want to see Doudrop unless this is just a one for all on a random ass Monday night or whatever. Don't nobody want to see that match at the Royal Rumble. So then we go back to the actual match that's happening. So then comes out Dolph Ziggler. And Dolph Ziggler's in an actual tag team. So we taking a person who's in an actual tag, who was a single star, then put him in a tag team match with Rube, who they make good partners together, only for them both to have a title shot at a person who probably has a bunch of people lined up, but you want to use somebody that's in a tag team. Now, don't get me wrong, Dolph Ziggler is great. They had a great match. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, and then it was like, if Damian Priest gets lose or disqualified, then he'll lose his title. And they were trying to make him get disqualified, but it wasn't working. Like, you have a division full of mid guys that you're not using on TV. Build those guys up. Give them a chance to go after the title. I'm not saying you got to take it off Damian Priest, but give him some good matches. He has it in him. You know what he's capable of. Look what he did last night. He's definitely capable of doing it. So, it was a great match. Damian Priest, of course, won. But where does he move on to? Who's next for him? I think him and Austin Theory could do great. But where does he go next? I don't know. Then we have Austin. Speaking of Austin Theory, we have Austin Theory and Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon has been doing a lot of segments with him, so that makes me think that he's getting ready to push this man to the moon. And it's kind of like schooling him. Don't interrupt me. Don't say you didn't mean to, but you actually did mean to. And then he enters him into the Royal Rumble, and let him know that if you win, you'll get the main event at WrestleMania and stuff like that, which we know Austin Theory's not going to win. But I'm interested to see where this story's going. We know Vince is not getting his old ass back in the ring, but I'm like, I hope they don't bring Shane back. Like, I hope this is not a match where Austin does something to Vince and then Shane comes in to defend his father, because I don't want to see any more Shane McMahon matches. Like, we've seen enough of them. We don't need any more. Moving on. Then we have Miz and Maurice, and I gotta say, Maurice's outfit was fire. Like, sis was looking good in that outfit. They came out, they started talking about the match between Miz and Edge, which nobody cares about. The match was boring. I get it was like, just something for Edge to do. We didn't need it. We didn't need it at all. We didn't need a match. Edge needs to move on, and he needs to face AJ Styles. They had a little back and forth at Royal Rumble last year. Let it continue. Let it build up. Figure out how we get there, and that needs to be the match. So, like I said, Maurice and Miz are out, and then out comes Beth Phoenix and Edge. Maurice has been getting involved in the matches a little bit, so Beth Phoenix is out to defend her husband, and pretty much let Maurice know, like, don't fuck with my man. And they're pretty much all out there to set up a match for Royal Rumble, a mixed tag team match. We all saw it coming. We don't care. I could see Beth, though, doing another run. She looks great. So I wouldn't mind that. Beth could have a really good final run in the company. I know she's probably retired in the Hall of Fame, but I really could see it. You can get Beth versus Asuka, Beth versus Naomi, Beth versus Sasha, Beth versus Bianca, Beth versus Becky, Beth versus Bayley. It's so much. Shayna, Rhea. It's so much that Beth could do in the one. So if I was a company, I would see if she would be interested in doing something like that. I really think she could. She definitely could help the division out, because they need more women like her. So like I said, they set up the match that's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. The mixed tag match between Maurice and Miz and Beth and Edge. And then, speaking of AJ Styles versus Omos. How do you say his name? I don't care. He wins. I don't care. Omos wins. Nobody cares. He's not Andre the Giant. Nobody cares. Anyway, moving on. Again, the match needs to be Edge versus AJ Styles, or I'll even take AJ Styles versus Finn, or Edge versus Finn. But you have 100,000 people that you're trying to fill up in a stadium. 100,000 people. You need a good 5 or 6 money matches that people are going to rush and buy tickets for. Ticket sales have not been happening. They are slow because people know what this company is. know what this company is about, but we also know what the company is capable of too. So, you know, if you gonna do it, do it. Then they show a story about Alexa Bliss because she's on her journey for coming back. And again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. She should just have been a surprise in the Royal Rumble. I don't I don't think we need to see anything about her, or for another 4 weeks. Have her show up at the Royal. She can be number 30 in the Royal Rumble, number 20, number 1. It doesn't matter. I think she should just be a surprise. I don't think she should. And even if when they do start showing the journey, she still should not show up until the Royal Rumble. It's just as simple as that. It's just simple as that. And then finally, we had the main event, which consists of Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Big E, which was supposed to be the original match that happened at day 1 on Saturday. But Roman is out with COVID, so we hope that he gets better soon. And they end up adding Brock to that match because Brock was there. Fans paid to see Brock and Roman, so we don't get Roman. We got to get Brock in something. I personally would not have gave Brock the title. I would have gave it to Kevin Owens. But at the same time, I understand why they gave it to Brock, and I'm not mad about the decision. A lot of people have been saying, and as I've been thinking about it, yeah, Big E was not going into that WrestleMania with the title. It just, I like Big E, but it just didn't make any sense. Like I said earlier, he should never have gotten the title until after WrestleMania or during WrestleMania when he cashed in. That would have been so much better, So anyway, so this match, it was a good match. It makes me feel like this is the match that was supposed to happen before Brock got added to day 1. That just took place on Saturday. They fought through the crowd. We are in a pandemic, so I don't know why that happened. But anyway, again, it's just a cough. Let me get my water. I don't know what y'all thinking I got something. That's good water too. That's cold. So anyway, they fight in the crowd. Kevin Owens is he's just amazing. They're in the crowd. When you're walking into the arenas and you're trying to find your seat and you come out the tunnel. Well, he's on top of the tunnel and he does a swanton onto the guys. They probably had 10 or 15 feet up in the air. It was amazing. They slamming people through tables. Bobby goes through the barricade at full speed. It was a great match. But obviously the obvious winner was Bobby. He won the match. We're finally getting Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley at Royal Rumble. That means that we're finally going to get Paul Heyman versus MVP in the ring, building up their two guys to really, really, really put the icing on the cake for this story, because the story really writes itself. But Bobby was extremely happy. I was extremely happy. And it's going to be 2 mega stars in the main event. A lot of people saying that if Brock loses, he should enter the Rumble. But I feel like that would be the obvious, and if he enters, the obvious choice would be for him to win. I just feel like because the Roman and Brock stories are already there, we really don't need him to enter the Rumble. I get why, because there's really nobody else to win the Rumble. But I feel like whoever wins the Rumble should go against Bobby Lashley. So I think that the Rumble should be somewhere in the middle or beginning of the show, and the main event should be Brock versus Bobby. And I feel like either a Ricochet or a Finn or somebody like that should win the Rumble. Get us somebody new. Just like for the women's Rumble. I mean, I only got 2 people in my mind right now, because I know Bayley. I just don't think she's gonna be back in time. So either Sasha or Naomi. That's who I got winning the Rumble. For the women, and for the men, I don't have anybody. I just guess. I'm just gonna say Finn or Ricochet, just because I like those guys and they're really, really good. But I think Bobby walks out champion. That's what I would do. A lot of people want them to merge the divisions or do a unification match. I just don't see them doing it because of how the networks are. Fox wants their own, USA wants their own. They don't really care about what we think. Other than that, it was Monday Night Trash. You got a 3-hour show, 3 good segments for a 3-hour show. And I'm sure what we saw this week, we'll see again next week. So, a lot of stuff that'll happen next week. Again, those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions, my perspective on things. I hope you enjoyed this video. I managed to give you a 30-minute video of a 3-hour show. So that should tell you how the show was. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about it. I'll see you guys Friday for SmackDown. I do not review NXT because NXT is not good anymore. I have not really gotten into AEW, but this is just one of the reviews of plenty more to come. So again, like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy your Tuesdays. See ya.